What's going on? This is Travis from Expert Advisor Reviews, and in this video, what we're going to end up doing is reviewing the Unibot EA. It is the most...
Don't forget to like to subscribe.
What he said, don't forget to subscribe. But let me go ahead and finish. In this video, what we're going to end up doing is taking a look at the Unibot EA, the most bot EA that's actually in the market today. We're going to end up figuring out, is it worth your overall time of being able to download? If you're worth your time to be able to download it, worth your time to be able to take a look at it. We're going to do a deep dive all the way, and also see if it's worth being able to purchase inside of the market. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get right into the video. Put your hand right in front of the screen. Go. Put your hand in front of the screen. Yeah. All right, let's go. Before we end up getting started, please make sure if I end up giving any value to you that you end up liking, sharing, subscribing this overall page, as we are a new channel and we're trying to grow, and also being able to bring out to you the best expert advisors that's on the MQL5 market. If you're interested in being able to learn a little bit more, if you're interested in being able to see us deep dive and take a look at all these EAs before you actually start purchasing, please make sure that you end up staying tuned to this overall channel as we end up posting at least 2 times out of the overall week. Now, with that being said, let's go ahead and go into the computer and let's talk about why this EA is so successful and if it should be one of the EAs that you should consider being able to purchase. Go ahead and jump into it. Unibot is a trendy neural network trained bot. It's an expert system based on neural networks based off of the architecture TINN, Target-IntelNeuroNet. We end up taking a look at that and kind of going how it ends up working. But a couple things that you need to know. One, it works off of the 15-minute time frame. The symbol is the majority. I'm guessing that means that we can pretty much work this off of most things. The leverage is 100 or less. The spread is not important. The commission is irrelevant. And in testing, you can be able to do it on all modes. When it comes down to money management, it says that you can be able to place in as little as $1,000, but it will probably end up being best if you end up having $1,000 account. $10,000 account, which makes sense, especially if you're trying to look at how much they're offering it for. If they're offering it for $1,280, then that means that they think that with a larger account, you should be able to get more significant market capital and more money after being able to obviously use the system for a while. Now, this system has stop loss, take profits, trailing stops, trailing starts, total equity loss, and total equity profit. I think that'll end up working very well when it comes down to being able to use this in prop firms. We'll take a look at that and obviously test that to see if it works. Some of the parameters that they actually end up having is active time frame, limit orders, type series, balance time, balance action, balance synchronization, grid step synchronization. So this seems like it is a grid model. And being able to take a look at some of the moving average shifts and everything else. Now, this is the one thing that ended up catching me off guard when I ended up taking a look at it. Take a look at these. I'm going to go back real quick, but take a look at this overall optimizations. I do optimizations all the time, but when you end up looking at profits, that's in the trillions when it comes down to it, depending and looking at how much total trades that they end up having in the profit factor. Obviously, that should excite you when it comes down to being able to take a look at it. Now, obviously, we're going to go through and download it and see how well it actually ends up doing. But those are very impressive numbers. We take a look at this based off of $1,000 real ticks, 100%, doing them based off of Euro, United States dollar. It went from 1970 all the way to 2022. So you have a lot of numbers when it comes down to that. I can see why you end up getting that large amount of number, that 17 million number when it comes down to that, because it's been tested over a certain amount of years. And if you look at even based off of that overall time, it ended up winning 88% of his short trades and 89% of his long trades. And the drawdown, which is going to end up being the most important, the balance drawdown was 0.52. So we'll see how it ends up working. Obviously, neural network systems do a very good job of being able to spot out what's going to end up being the best settings for that. Let's not waste any more time. Let's go ahead and let's go ahead and download this demo. Let's go ahead and crack it, and let's see what we have when it comes down to that. So downloading it right now, and we'll go ahead and see how everything works. Okay, so here we go. Get ready to download it right now. Click and go into it. We'll see that it has downloaded on to our testing platform. There we go. If you don't know how to be able to download different EAs from the marketplace. I'm going to end up creating videos so you can be able to see how to actually be able to do that as well. But here we go. Everything is placed in. We will take a look at it. All we got to do is go to this drop down, go to the market, and we should see it in there. There it is right there. So we're going to end up taking a look at this and opening it up. As we go through and take a look at this, we want to take a look at the settings to say at 1 to 100. So we are going to change it to that to say go with the Euro United States dollar. And we're going to change it to the 15-minute and being able to take a look at that from this standpoint. We are going to look at it from the beginning of the year, in which we've done that with pretty much every model. So we're going to take a look at it from the year to where we are at this particular point. And what we're going to do from there is go to the inputs to take a look at it. So money management. You see minimum deposit, we end up taking a look at it, has set up as 100, lot rounding, level, mini management, standard risk, lot management. I'm pretty sure that there's a set file that's already set up, but typically when you end up placing in items, I know even with mine, you try to get it to where it's set up for Euro United States dollar and being able to go from there. The stop loss is a very large stop loss and a very large take profit. I want to understand why that's actually happening. We'll take a look at that for a second after we go from there. Interface network is the 15-minute. It has the 1 hour. It has Cerner grid. Take a look at the drop down. Okay. There's a martingale type of aspect on that as well. Anti-trend, balanced time, balanced action, balanced synchronization. All of these numbers, obviously, I think have been optimized to be able to work from there. Let's keep on looking at it. Login method, login file. I'm pretty sure that is for the neural network and being able to understand what's going on. I'm just going to click on start. Let's go ahead and see what happens with that. And then after that, if we need to change up some of the settings based off of some of the things they may end up having, we might end up going from there. But here we go. Testing it right now. And I'm going to pull up the graph right beside it so everybody can be able to see how well it's actually going. And I'm going to end up slowing it down at some point in time. But here we go. As we take a look at it, this is what we see. Overall, okay, so let's go ahead and slow this down a little bit. I think I started off with a $10,000 account, but you can see that it is taking sell trades in a certain area after being able to find what it's looking for. So yes, it seemed like it's a grid type of model, but I think the grid is actually working based off of certain parameters for its entry strategy. And it looks like it's trying to find either the, let's see, okay, that was a buy. Let's slow this down real quick. I'm going to go full screen once the next trade ends up hitting. Okay, good. So as we take a look at this from an overall standpoint, we can see that we end up having a fractal low. It looked like it was about to turn over right here. I think that what the grid ends up doing is that it's taking a look at, or what the system's actually doing is that it's trying to find either I'm guessing this speculating because obviously we don't know what's going on with the overall model all the way through, but it's looking to be able to find fractal highs, fractal lows, depending on how that's actually being found, and then from there, it's taking trades based off of a grid system, based off of the entries of that strategy, which is very smart on being able to do it. Obviously, when you want to do a grid system, you want to do a grid system when you know that you have the best chance of being able to win based off of this. But typical grids are set up based off of a set amount of space in between. So I think this is based off of being able to find a great entry, and then after that, using the grid to be able to get to leverage that great entry. Let's keep on playing it and see what's going on. Seems like it has a auto lock function set up for you based off of your overall account size. The one thing that I do notice is that you take a look at these stop losses are massive. So essentially, it's going to end up keeping you inside of the game. Obviously, to take profits is going to end up keeping you inside of the game as well. I'm kind of curious to be able to know how you can be able to when it's actually getting you out. I guess that's what a trail stop and trail start function actually ends up coming in as well when it comes down to that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to let this kind of play out. I'm going to get off the video, and then after that, let y'all go ahead and take a look at it, and then we'll talk about the results and see if this is something that I would recommend for us being able to use as a product for your everyday trader.
Don't forget to subscribe.
Hold on for one quick second. If you're enjoying this video, please do me a favor. Please make sure that you end up clicking on that subscribe button and smashing that dang on like button, as we are a small channel trying to be able to grow. But more importantly, if you like this overall review, please consider looking at our other reviews that we have, including the WAKA EA, including the Sun EA, and our very own EA, the Skywalker EA. All of these are available for purchase on the MQL5 marketplace, and they have QR codes on the overall thumbnails. So let's go ahead and get back into the video.
This is silent noise.
Okay, so we are done and the results are in. We end up taking a look at this account. Let's go ahead and take a look at the back test and see how well this system actually ended up going. Started off with $10,000. The total net profit ended up being $133,000, which is very impressive. But more importantly, let's go ahead and take a look at the big numbers that mean more when it comes down to trading. Profit factor 27.53. Outrageous numbers when it comes down to that. Balance drawdown is 1.93, which means that when it ends up taking a loss, it can be able to recover from that loss very quickly. The equity drawdown was 14%. That really happened mainly more in the beginning. Short trades, it ended up winning 95%. Long trades, it ended up winning 85%. The overall profits trades was just a little under 90, or just under 90% when it came down to that. Largest profit trade was 2,300. Largest loss was 667. It had a consecutive wins of 81. It had consecutive losses of 6. Now, obviously, these are very impressive numbers. More importantly, if you end up taking a look at the profit and losses by the weekdays, really and truthfully, there wasn't that many days where you end up taking a lot of losses. Now, I think that is a kind of a play on the way that the stop loss and the overall take profit method actually works. As we ended up talking about before when we took a look at it, the stop loss was very high. The take profit was very high. But typically, what the system does is that once it sets the grid up, it seems like it's setting the grid based off of 35 points for the overall spread, or 35 pips for the overall spread. And then from there, it has some type of trailing stop or some type of take profit method to where once it ends up hitting that certain number, then it ends up basically canceling out of the trades of all of the trades that it ends up taking. And then after that, putting you into a profitable or a loss position when it comes down to that, which allows you to be able to have a win factor like that. But that also means that if you end up having an account that's very small, it's kind of one of those situations to where you want to be very careful in being able to do it. You might have to be able to do it on a mini lot account to be able to get the same type of sustained growth when it comes down to being able to do this. Would this be something that I would recommend for a FTMO or anything else like that? It kind of depends on how much money that you're going to end up using and what the balance drawdown that they have set, because most companies end up having a floating drawdown. So once it ends up hitting that certain number in that floating drawdown, whether if you close out of the trade or not, you may end up getting kicked out of it. So I don't know if I personally end up using this for a overall prop firm challenge or anything else like that, but from a long-term trading account and being able to have it sustainably grow, whether if you have $5,000 or $10,000 inside of your account where you have a little bit more room to be able to grow from this, I think that this one would end up being a hit when it comes down to that. Now, overall, when it comes down to it, this is the biggest profit factor that I've seen from any of the systems that we have been using. And obviously, I'm pretty sure that they end up having other pairs that you could be able to use this for. I'm kind of excited to be able to see what it will look like with a pound yen or a pound or like a pound New Zealand dollar, where typically there's a lot of volatility when it comes down to that movement. But we have to open it up and kind of take a look at it a little bit better. But overall, taking a look at this EA, I give it a thumbs up. When it comes down to rankings, 1 to 10, for my overall rating, for us being able to use it for its functionality and everything else like that, being able to make some changes and all the other stuff, I put this at a 9. And ultimately, the reason why I did not hit a 10 is mainly because I think that I probably wouldn't be able to use this for a prop firm challenge. But overall, you're looking at the drawdown, you're looking at the overall profit factor, you're looking at the overall percentage wins, being able to get in there, and looking at the overall management of it. It doesn't seem like you have to do a lot of management for us being able to do any type of self-control when the system is actually in its phases and being able to work from there. So I really do like it. What we're going to end up doing is placing a QR code down at the bottom, have all the descriptions to where you can be able to take a look at that, as well as our other EAs that we have been able to take a look at and rank. In the comments below, make sure that you end up saying which EA that you want me to be able to test next, and we'll end up seeing you in the next video.